I recall as a little child, the first time that I ever visited the grave of President John F. Kennedy over in Arlington Cemetery. I never forget when I visited that grave. I never forget it. Just like yesterday in the 8th grade, I had an opportunity to visit the grave of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in Atlanta, Georgia. And one of the things that I noticed, that these graves are built as monuments, testimonies to great men who did a whole lot for mankind. And something was unique about each one of these graves, because both of these graves were marked by an eternal flame that was on top of the grave, that I was told burned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. These flames kept burning. They keep burning to remind us of the life sacrifice of John Fitzgerald Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. But I must admit, a couple of years, Deacon and Deaconess Long, we went to the Holy Land. I remember that day that they took us out to see the grave of Jesus Christ. I went to see the grave of the one who made the ultimate sacrifice, the one who gave his life for all of mankind, the one who died for you and me. And I must admit, I was a little taken aback, because I thought about John Kennedy's grave that had a flame on top of it. I thought about Martin King's grave that had a flame on top of it. And I must admit, I was taken aback, because I wondered why John Kennedy had a flame on his grave, Martin King had a flame on his grave. But here I'm standing at the graveside of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and there's no flame on the top of that grave. I must admit, I got a little upset, Deacon Anderson. I got a little bothered, Minister Woodbury. But then as I sat there, my mind was running in every which direction. And it's just like Jesus came and tapped me on my shoulder. And he said, I realized that Kennedy got a flame on his grave. I realized that King got a flame on his grave. But I want to tell you something, Maclin. I don't need a flame on my grave, because I'm not there anymore. Y'all excuse me. I feel like I'm about to get happy right here. Is there anybody in here that's glad today that King's still in his grave, Kennedy's still in his grave, but the Jesus that I serve, my midnight rider, Jesus, my company keeper, Jesus, my best friend, I dare you look at somebody and tell him that he's not in the grave. How do you know he's not in the grave? Because they laid him there one Friday evening, rolled a stone in the way, put 2 soldiers there in front of the grave, but he only borrowed the grave for 3 days and 3 nights, because early one Sunday morning, he got up. Yes, he did. He got up. I dare to hug somebody. Tell him he got up with all power in his hand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, I said, Jesus, if we don't need a flame over your grave, but you keep saying that you want to start a fire, then what do we need to do? He said, Maclin, tell the sanctuary, don't put a fire over my grave, but put a fire in your heart. I dare to hug somebody. Tell them, don't hug me if you don't want to catch this. But if you want to catch on fire, hug me. because I got the fire of the Holy Ghost burning in my heart. Is there anybody